It's the season finale, Millionaires, and for some reason, I feel like we have a lot more questions than we have answers. We want to hear your thoughts, so let's go!
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
The season finale!
Season finale!
Can't believe it!
If you're joining us via like YouTube, we did not plan the orange.
At all.
No.
So I feel like
A ray of sunshine right now.
even
That's
though
what we want on the end.
that's kind of what we wanted, but I don't know if we got it. But anyway, hey everyone, you are with AfterBuzz TV at the after show for A Million Little Things, the season finale of season 1. And we have like a lot more questions than answers.
Like a million questions.
A million.
Like literally
I see
a
what you did
million.
there.
A million. Pun intended.
See
I
what
like
you
it.
did there.
Snap. Oh.
But,
Perfect. Ooh, stupid.
so obviously we have a lot to talk about. But first, let's introduce and give overall thoughts. So, Tay, I'll let you take it away. What did you think?
I'm just satisfied, guys. I don't know, like you said, like, okay, Barb and Morgan tied a lot of questions together, but because of that now, like you said, we have more. I don't like the fact that nobody knows that's Eddie's baby except now Katherine, finally. That's like the drama
Maybe.
Writers, come on, get it together. Also, I'm happy the title of the episode didn't mean Maggie was going to die, because I predicted that. Because the title of it was called Goodbye. So I'm happy that prediction did not come true. But anyway, Yasmine, what do you think?
Yes, no, I'm actually very happy about that as well,
Yes.
even though I kept on predicting
I kept predicting it. I feel like a terrible person.
Like, no, she's not going to make it, so I'm very happy she made it. So that's a happy thought in this one. But overall, with all the other characters, I'm so dissatisfied. I'm also very confused by this episode because it didn't make sense when they were at the airport, all of them together, and then where did they all disperse? Also, like, I know this is a series that really touches upon so many different topics, like we've acknowledged cancer, or like come to face, with suicide and all these very heavy topics. And then on top of that, the season's finale touching upon what happened 9/11. I was like, God, that's on top of everything else. So I questioned a little bit why they had to tie that in there into the narrative.
Yeah,
but just to see how they met, John and Delilah, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a family truck full of. There's just a lot.
Question mark.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Way to add 9/11 in there too, guys.
I know.
Like the show's already heavy as it is.
Yes.
It's heavy. Yeah.
Takira, what did you think?
Yeah. Same. I'm like, I think most of my notes were questions. So, and I know that we'll get to it. So, thank you, Yasmine Tay, for overall thoughts. So, let's dive into it. Let's talk about first Rome and Regina, because I feel like it's pretty easy to talk about this episode. Rome is doing better. We see him kind of mentoring this young little lad named PJ that we'll talk more about.
Do not say a prediction. You know how
We're
we
not.
are. Okay.
This episode we're not gonna. This after show we're not gonna say any predictions. We're gonna hold off to the last.
Okay.
So he's mentoring PJ through his suicidal thoughts, and it seems that he's doing so well. And Regina, they go to buy a new car, and then Rome says, "Hey, let's have a baby." What do you guys think about them during this episode?
Why did I already predict that Regina was going to shut that down right away? Like being who she is. But, I kind of, I was going to say prediction. Hold on. Wait, let me pause. I agree. Okay. I love them, but I'm trying not to say prediction. That's why I'm talking slow.
You don't think Rome is ready? I mean, that's fine to say. Do you think that would be more issues than...
I think he would be great with a child. I think that would fill a hole that he has right now.
Okay.
Maybe like a space that needed to put all the pieces. Yeah, put all the pieces together. I think that would make him whole.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty strong for him his journey, the entire season, his journey has been very like inspiring to watch, how he's managed
Very
to pull
much
himself out of the very first episode, and now he's ready to even look after another human being. I'm questionable about why Regina really is against having a kid, because they can clearly afford it. If they can afford like such a nice car and like live in the way that they live, I understand she's worried that she's not going to be able to fulfill her duties as a mother, because basically her restaurant is her baby right now, and that's fresh and new. And for Rome, it's like, you know, he feels like with his flexibility that he's ready for it. So I understand why they're having a little bit of a tiffle there. But
Do you think that's the only reason why?
That she doesn't want to have...
She doesn't want a baby?
I think there's a deeper rooted like
I agree.
issue there.
Is that where you're going with your prediction?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Well, then what do you
Don't
think?
make me say it. I'm trying really hard right now.
Okay, well, I'll just say what do you
I think it's
ladies
something
think?
to do with her upbringing. We saw already
Okay.
a glimpse from her past as to what happened to her because of her uncle, and I just, maybe it's like a worry of not being able to protect her child properly.
It's just the way she like said that and walked away from Rome to go in the living room.
Like she's like, there's like no
there's
option.
no chance.
Like there's no
like,
discussion. Yeah. I was like,
all
all
right.
right. Real quick, answer
Well.
is no. All right, got it. Okay. So, yeah, I ditto on all of this. I think that it is something bigger. I think it's tied to her family for sure. Yeah, as far as him doing well, I definitely don't think, just like a baby can't fix a relationship
You're right.
or an argument, I definitely don't think, in the back of my mind, until he can stand firm and say, no, like I'm doing 100% well, I don't think bringing in a child during those times is the best, just because that... I personally believe that suicide is, and depression, all of that is kind of tied as a generational demon. I think that it's like something that is hereditary, like depression and the thoughts. And then if you have a parent that almost committed suicide or did commit suicide as a child, like naturally, if you know about that, it's kind of in the back of your head, like, okay, if I'm depressed, did they make the right decision? Like, should they have gone along with it? So it's just too much, I think, to bring a child into. So it's, I know.
But I always question as well, like, when is it really the right time to have kids?
I hear it all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
And it happens. And then when it happens, you make it work.
Just go with
Yeah,
it.
I mean, true.
Right?
Yeah, true.
Like, look at Delilah.
Absolutely.
She's
no,
like, I didn't pop the crib yet. I'm like, girl, go to the hospital and hand the baby.
Right. And no, I completely agree in that case. But I think Rome's outlook on, a baby will make me feel better and make me tie my loose ends, I think that's the angle that I don't really want him to think. I don't want that to be his solution.
Do you think he thinks like that, though? Or are we just, we're kind of just saying
he said it. He
did say
he
it?
said
Oh.
maybe the baby will put things into perspective for me. And then Regina was like, what if it doesn't? Because I think it's not like I know that he's probably ready, but that one little key phrase made me feel like, ooh, don't do this for the wrong reason. Like,
that shouldn't be a filler.
Yeah, like, don't do it because you love Regina and you guys have come through so much the last, few months, and you're ready to be a role model for a baby, not the other way around, and the baby put things into perspective for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But that's just my thought. Let us know, our lovely extended panel. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know the questions. Thank you so much to the people in the live chat right now. Tanya, hi. Watcher Carter. Let us know you guys' questions that you had from the finale, because we know you had a lot. And in that case, Tay has a lovely message for not just you guys, but everyone else that enjoys our lovely channel.
Everyone, guys, before we move on to our juicy topics, you guys are the reason why we have the ESPN and TV Talk, and we just wanted to say thank you. If you are on YouTube right now, join us in our juicy conversations of drama-filled life on this panel right now, and give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you're on YouTube, please give us a 5-star rating, only 5-star. But no matter where you are, please leave us a comment so you can get involved in our crazy drama-filled, like I said, conversation. And being a part of AfterBuzz has been amazing for me, amazing for all of us. So we just want to say thank you, and we truly appreciate you supporting us. And don't forget to tell your friends, and keep enjoying our shows.
Yes.
Thanks,
yes.
guys.
They're our extended panel. Like, this table's not big enough to fit everyone. So that's how we fit everyone that we want on this panel. So, welcome.
They're a co-host. Extended co-host.
Extended co-host.
Every week.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Maggie and Gary. So they make the decision to move in with one another. And the touching good news is that she is in, Maggie is in remission.
Yes, Maggie.
Yes.
I was so hard on
Celebration.
you. So hard on you all season. Well, the first half of the season to do it. And aren't you glad that you did it, Maggie?
Right. Tay was ready to just like, oh, she's done. Maggie's no. But we're so happy.
Yeah.
But something that she said that was just so like heartbreaking but touching at the same time. She, when she said, "I packed my entire life in these boxes so that someone else wouldn't have to." Like, and so, like, this whole time we see she is always packed up. And we thought that it was just because she's running from her cancer or running from her life, thinking that is it, which I think that was it to begin with. But it's like a deeper layer of, wow, she didn't want someone to go through the hassle of packing her things if in the event that this does not work out. So that was, like, so ridiculously heartbreaking. She did.
She said it, and I don't know which episode it was, like the reason why she was packing, I think.
Oh
yeah.
well.
I remember her
forgot
saying that. It was like a reminder
it's
again.
It's still a heartbreaker.
She's so conscious. She's so conscious, like, of doing that to not burden anybody else and just prepping herself and everybody for it.
Isn't that like two peas in a pod? Like, she's caring for so many people other than herself sometimes. Gary's the same exact way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like literally perfect.
They're like two
Perfect.
selfless people.
I know.
Both nonchalant
Yes.
and have a weird sense of humor together.
They just-
I love it.
I love it, yeah.
They just fit right into a glove together.
What do you guys think about Gary's growth this season?
I am so proud of him in so many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like we were all always rooting for him because he's always been such a like positive, big supporter for everybody. And now I feel like because he's essentially convinced her and saved her, and he probably feels redeemed in a sense because of what we've now learned or tonight, that he wasn't able to let go and acknowledge the fact of what has happened to John. And now Maggie has been able to help him through that process. And I thought that was pretty strong when he was like at the graveyard and expressing, like releasing. That's so healthy.
Yeah,
he's an extended John.
That was going to be my next point. He's like the one that's unofficially been dubbed as John's place,
but
as
I
the
don't
caregiver.
want him to...
I don't, like, you know, they say, like, the one who cares the most for everyone cares the least about themselves sometimes. So I just don't want that pressure to go on Gary. And I think Maggie said the same thing. She was kind of alluding to the same thing in the episode.
Yeah. Because essentially John was holding all this guilt and burden within him, and after 17 years reacted. And so I'm happy that Maggie is able to like guide him through this properly.
Yeah.
So hopefully let's see
feel
what
like
happens.
He's learning balance.
Yes.
That's the main
100%.
thing I wanted to say about his growth. He's learning how to balance himself and everyone else too.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps to have someone like Maggie because she's a therapist. So
Didn't like her at first. I'll just put that out there again.
Really?
But I love her now.
Yeah, I forgot that you said that.
I didn't like her as a therapist for Rome. I didn't like a lot of things about her. But I also didn't like Katherine either. I know we're going to get to her next.
Oh, yeah.
But she's right under Regina now, under my top 2 favorite.
Katherine or Maggie?
Katherine.
Oh,
Gonna-
nice. Okay. Let's talk about Katherine and Eddie because they, wow, they had a pivotal, like, Eddie, kudos. You went in for the kiss. I'm just saying.
I loved it.
that was strong.
It was so strong.
Very strong.
I mean, after the last episode, we kind of knew, like, it's only natural. Like, I think we mentioned it last week that there's growth. And so, yes, do we think the old Katherine, the old Eddie probably should have gotten a divorce? Even though, you know, I think no one on the panel really, like, wanted to support divorce in that light, but it was like, something has to change. And I feel like these are two totally different people. I feel like, you know, they say when you go through trials, then it makes you grow. Are you guys digging if they stay together? Like, what do you think?
I loved it. I had in my notes, Katherine and Eddie rekindled with like 1, 2, 3, 5 exclamation points. But then they damn near like burned down the kitchen with that whole kissing scene, which I loved.
Well, you know, it got quite heated.
And the kitchen on fire.
And I love the fact that I remember seeing in last after show last week, Katherine said they acknowledged everything pretty much like what they didn't do in the first place. And it was, I think it is because they did that, it's a beautiful thing for them to rekindle right now.
So it's like a fresh start.
It's almost like a fresh start because now, like, okay, we're not going to make the same mistakes that we did the first time around. I think it's fixable. And I always thought it was fixable. Delilah just moved over a little bit. But I love her face.
We're not going to give predictions right now.
I know. Okay.
No, to myself.
No, okay.
It's like a reminder to myself.
It's just, I still, like I said in my overall thoughts, I still don't like the fact that, like, nobody else knows, maybe Katherine. It's still about this baby, though.
Yeah.
That was my big, like, drama-filled thing that I wanted to know.
You wanted that to happen this episode, or this season.
Over the whole, like, let's find out who Barbara Morgan is, actually.
Okay. Yeah, touche. I mean, that's kind of big.
Drama-related. Drama purposes, yeah.
What about you, Yasmine? What do you think?
I'm like... Okay, obviously I'm so happy about that moment, but okay, why did it have to take Katherine in order to express it? Why did Eddie never have the balls to express anything? I feel like in the entire season, he never really expressed anything. Not to Katherine, not to Delilah.
Now that
you say that, same.
And he's just kind of, it's like as if he's kind of just waiting on it and just seeing and feeling, but not saying. And so I was so proud of Katherine to have brought it up. Like, I love the way she did bring it up, saying like, hey, that moment, it really made me feel something and rethink something. But I just questioned, like, why was it not in his, like, I felt like it was in his court to actually make that move.
The weak link? Do you think he's like the weak link of the group?
Just, like, it's funny to me because he's a songwriter, he's like emotional and everything, but he doesn't express his emotions, I feel. And I mean, I think it's good that he's coming out with the secret. That's what we're kind of getting a glimpse towards.
You said maybe.
Hopefully.
and I believe that's going to happen, and I know I should save it for predictions.
No, I mean,
but
it's a baby prediction.
It's like, yeah, because that's kind of obvious.
We saw it, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm kind of mad at that.
Okay.
Yeah, that it had to happen that way.
What about Hunter is like no longer in the picture?
First of all,
obviously.
I'm so mad at him. We were just like, oh my gosh, he's so cute.
We were rooting for him.
We were rooting for him.
Yeah, we were a little excited.
And then he turned out to be this person.
Yeah.
Trump-like. And I don't like it. But he's gone, so bye.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think he'll be back in season 2. That'll be another baby prediction.
Okay, I'm going to say my prediction. I have a prediction for this one.
Well, I'm bring him into season 2. His contract is up.
He is definitely.
He's only signed for 4 episodes of this season. Just keep him in season 1.
Okay, well, I'm going to put Hunter question in predictions because I want you to give what you think is going to happen.
It's not going to be big, but something.
All right.
It's going to mess things up a little bit again.
Well, it's a shame.
Oh, man.
So we have to get on to the I feel like the biggest puzzle piece and the biggest piece of this entire episode is John and everything around him. So can we just clarify? Maybe people in the live chat, comments afterwards, all that good stuff. So if you can clarify, because we still can't figure it out, who the heck did John meet first? At first, we thought that it was Delilah, and then he met the guys in the elevator. But from this episode, it seems he met the guys first and then met Delilah. But then the question is, did they know Dave? And were they on the same hockey trip?
Yeah, and where did they disperse to?
Where did Dave, was this on the same day? Because remember, they were supposed to be at Chicago O'Hare. They, were in the jerseys, which John had on.
Right.
And then they were playing hockey because they thought that they were going to meet. But nowhere did I see another random guy. Did anyone in the live chat, if you saw like a random guy that maybe wasn't playing hockey that looked like he would... I don't know. Okay, so if Dave's on the same trip, shouldn't he have been playing hockey with them? But in the picture, Dave didn't look like he had a jersey on when it was like through the window. I'm just completely confused.
That scene was very confusing.
Yeah, what did you guys think?
You just gave me so many light bulbs. I have to go back and think. Now, I didn't put...
we gotta write down. So I didn't know if maybe... And Tay, you brought up a really good point off camera that maybe this is when they found out that they were renewed for season 2, and then they kind of tweaked it a little, and maybe...
Yeah.
Something got lost in translation.
Just a tad.
And maybe they were writer hiccup.
Yeah, so what do you guys think?
Okay, so Brooks AG says it was 2 different timelines.
Okay, that's okay. I was just making...
Wait, which ones though?
Yeah.
The Dave trip and the guys trip.
But why
But
did
they
that
were the
have
same
to
jersey.
merge?
Like John was wearing the same jersey, and it all seemed like it was tying together.
Yeah, or maybe... Or
So,
Brooks...
yeah.
Like how many times were
Clarified.
they at Chicago, like O'Hare Airport?
Yeah, well, Brooks AG qualified. He knew Dave first, which...
I got that.
I got that piece because they were college roommates.
Yeah.
But I think the guys...
But then what was the
like
guys?
friends like Gary, Eddie, Rome... If, because obviously John met Maggie at the airport after Dave's passing in March.
John met Delilah.
I'm sorry. I keep saying Maggie.
Yeah, when you said
Delilah. John met Delilah in March, the following year that Dave passed away. Because Dave passed away September 11th.
Yeah, and then
his birthday was March. So
12th.
Barbara, who I'm air quoting for those who are listening on iTunes. I don't know. We don't know if that's really her name because it wasn't clarified anywhere in the episode. We don't know if that's Barbara. But, yeah, so a little confused.
And the plane, and we were saying the guys, which timeline would the guys, like John and, not John, Roman, everybody, wouldn't they be on the plane too?
With Dave.
So
that's why it's two different timelines.
Well, and I get that now, but like which timeline, which side are we on?
I think
what you're saying, the timeline with the guys was right after each other.
Right. Because, it was right after one another, I think, because the Dave situation was in Boston. And then the guys, they were at Chicago O'Hare.
Yeah.
Because the ticket said Boston to LA. That was the flight, supposedly. But anyway.
Wait, but I was just questioning, like, when I said, I thought maybe on March 12th, that's when he was there with the guys. But it couldn't have that wouldn't have made sense.
So when did he meet Delilah? Well, what time of year? Was that
He
March
met
time?
March. He met Delilah in March.
Okay, so Dave happened in September.
Yeah, Dave happened in September. I think it was just a
and the guys must have been somewhere in between.
I think
they were specifically at
Oh, hold on. Okay. You know the moment when he was with the guys and then he looked over the shop where the wine shop is.
Right. I think that was a split.
That was the split, and that was the moment where he remembered back to that moment.
Okay.
Or was it going ahead?
Okay, so anyway,
No, because he knew Dave before, and then he met the guys.
Right.
They were going to whatever, and the shop reminded him of that moment.
Okay.
And then he went back again.
Because that's where confusion happened, was with the wine.
Okay, I don't want to confuse anyone else out here in the world that might be as confused. I know that we weren't the only ones, because I got on Twitter, and a lot of people were like, okay, what the heck happened? So, it's clarified.
Now that we've talked about it, we're all so confused.
We talked it through. So, he knew Dave from college. We got that clarified.
Yeah.
He went on the trip with the guys. So he knew the guys after he met Delilah. That's our intake, because he knew Dave in college. Dave passed away. met Delilah in March, and then he met the guys in the elevator, went on a trip, got stuck in O'Hare, and when he went to the gift shop, he had a flashback, which is what we were watching.
There we go.
It's talk through. You know, we literally watch this show, guys, no kidding, 10 minutes before we come into the studio. We want to watch it so that it's fresh, like our emotions, our discussion is fresh on the mind. So I know there's another 1,000 people that needed what we just did.
Exactly.
So you're
Talk
welcome.
about it, break it down,
Broke it down for you.
Talk it up.
Yes,
Talk it out. Okay, cool. Question answered. So what do we think about that whole scenario? Like, I know supposedly we are needing to be led to believe that Barbara Morgan is the woman in the episode that had the talk with Delilah. Barbara and Dave dated. They had a baby. I don't think that's what happened. Yeah, I don't think that's what happened. And then PJ comes into play, and that's why John left the money, because he felt guilty for Dave. Yeah. So
Okay.
Are y'all kind of a little with that like
I
thought,
like that sound effect.
you know, that's all I had. I couldn't really explain it. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little dissatisfied that was the whole Barbara Morgan thing. I'm just like,
that's
what
I was saying. I was like, when the episode was over, I was still staring at the TV like, okay.
But what would you have wanted? More drama.
Oh, I'm saving my predictions. Please believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
Question mark.
Yeah, I think they need to amp up the drama a little bit, because if you guys haven't seen me on other after shows or know me by now, I have these things in my head. I have thoughts that just make things completely bigger than what they are. My husband probably loves me for that. And I like the twist. So
Takira questions air.
I do. I'm like, is this really
Ether.
I don't know.
The space in between air.
Is it LA smog or are they somewhere else?
Yeah. So some questions that I want people in the live chat to think about, because we'll talk about it for predictions. Who is PJ? Who is PJ's daddy? And what's the connection, the real connection, if you think otherwise, between John and Barbara? So, but what do we think about that whole scenario as far as how Delilah found out?
It was brave of her to go on her own.
Brave.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that. No.
Pregnant
I mean, I would have
too?
exactly get Gary to come with her or somebody. And it seemed very aggressive. Well, Mitch, at least, he seemed very aggressive. I'm a little concerned about him.
Yeah.
But obviously he's given circumstances, and I do believe that this is the true story.
Okay.
I think as a firefighter, he's protective of her and of what happened and how involved John seemed to be versus not be as well, but very worrisome.
Yeah. Well, obviously Mitch and Barbara are trying to keep Patrick at ease that Mitch is his real dad.
Well, first of all, why was PJ? Isn't that the same person in the hospital?
Yes.
Another question to add to live chat.
Oh, it's here.
Why was he in the hospital in the first place?
Yeah. Why we didn't see PJ with
anybody.
Patrick, now we also know him as PJ.
Yes.
So the Rome knows him as PJ. Barbara, Morgan, Mitch know him as Patrick. So we later connect the dots that the same boy that read Rome's script is also Patrick, who is Barbara's son. So the question that we had off air before we hopped in the studio was, what the heck is this kid doing at the hospital by himself? Where's his parents? Because he's obviously by this time 17.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he suffers from depression.
And he suffers from depression.
From not being understood and lonely or something. That's why he can relate to Rome's
So
which is beautiful.
So question no, go ahead.
I mean, I just feel like his parents have really tried to protect a secret of making him feel like he's their child, when instinctually as children, or as not anybody, but we can sense when something's off. And I think that's Patrick has been feeling like that all of his life. I feel like he's always
maybe
been sort of
leading
kept at bay
to
for
his
whatever
depression.
reason.
It never ends well when the parents keep secrets that big.
That's true.
Yeah.
That it might as well just, I mean, I get it's probably hard, but you just tell them. Just tell them.
I don't.
It never
get
ends.
that
I can't name
part.
one movie, show,
It's true,
anything scenario
right.
where it's
Try
like, oh,
and
okay.
try and make them understand from a young age.
Thanks
I
for
agree with
protecting
that.
me. Like,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't work like that.
That's when you break trust.
And not to mention, like, I think a lot of people forget for medical reasons, like, if they think they're compatible and not compatible, like, I mean, like, something could happen to the mom and then Mitch can't really, I mean, law says, you know, Mitch might not be able to be lawfully responsible for Patrick, and then maybe he goes in the system. Like, there's so many bigger things that could happen. Like, just tell them, just legally, like, do whatever you need to do to make it legal, make it legally accepted, and just be a family. I don't understand, but same. So let's move on to our special segment, our ABTV Little Thing special segment, so that we can hurry up and get to predictions. Real quick. No, just kidding. What was one of your ABTV little things that you got from this episode, Yasmine?
Okay, mine was, by trying to turn over a stone, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to find out all the answers or the reasons to a question, right?
Definition of this episode, really.
And that's what, yes.
Like,
right,
literal.
exactly. And that's essentially something that Maggie nicely put into words for Gary, and yes, definitely applies to the episode.
Yep.
And it's just a whole bunch of stones that are stacked up onto each other as to why a person reacts or is the way that they are. So, you know, you might want to find a puzzle to the
Piece to the puzzle. There we go. You almost had it.
Mumble jumbled. This whole episode's got me like crazy right now. So you just have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, accept.
ABTV little thing. What do you have, Tay?
Mine is, not as beautiful as yours. So I was just going to say
Courtesy
something.
of Maggie.
Something little, like, don't take things for granted. Like things like 9/11 can happen. You never know. Like, make sure you tell people you love them and check up on them. You never know. Like, AKA like Rome, or in PJ, you never know what's happening. And just express yourself. Eddie hopefully will learn, like you were saying.
Yes.
To do.
Mine was really similar. Address the past, like lay it on the table, be vulnerable as difficult as it seems, and just work through it. Start fresh.
Hallelujah.
Let's get to news and gossip with Yasmine.
Okay, since Maggie isn't here with us tonight, we miss you. I've got some news and gossip there. In an interview with Deadline, DJ Nass said that the morning they shot this season's finale, the scene between Eddie and Katherine, he handed them the rest of the script of season 2. Well, not the entire season 2, but of that particular scene, which abruptly ended for us.
Wait, season
Hold on,
1 or
what?
season 2?
So of this finale, this season's finale, the scene between Eddie and Katherine,
Okay.
he handed them on that morning the rest of the script because nobody had ever seen it before, not even the network.
Oh, the rest of season 1.
No, it's basically season 2 now because it's,
Oh.
we don't
Yeah,
see if
interesting.
what Eddie's gonna say, right? Like we think, but we don't see. So they shot that morning the rest of it. So basically, some of season 2 has already been shot. We don't have a specific air date for season 2, but that's obviously on the horizon. Then another piece is James Roddy, who plays Gary, will be back on TV as from tomorrow on Hulu for the It's an anthology. It's a horror anthology called Treehouse.
Gary.
He's not playing in it. He's co-written and directed with Jimmy Simpson as a Gordon Ramsay type TV chef whose mistreatment of women catches up to him over one long horrific weekend. So he's co-written and produced this episode. The ensemble cast includes Mary McCormack, Stephanie Beatrice, Juliana Gill, Shawnette Renee Wilson, and Maggie Lawson. And he says this is a conversation that's not going anywhere and is only getting louder. Roddy says of the episode's #MeToo theme. For me, it's about raising awareness and showing this is a systematic problem, and with that comes some understanding that we're not going to change everything overnight. So that's going to be an interesting one for you horror fans out there from tomorrow on Hulu.
He's an amazing man on and off camera.
There you go.
All right, let's really get to it. Predictions already.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Laying it on the table. We got like 5 minutes to talk. Let's just do it. I'm so glad that Glynis Sturdivant, hopefully I'm pronouncing this correctly. I'm so happy that this person agrees with me and says in the live chat, maybe she, meaning Barbara, she and John had an affair behind Dave's back and Patrick is John's kid. Hello, 100% agree. That's the drama that I want.
I love how happy you
Yeah,
kind of
she's
are
so
about
happy.
this. Even though it's like so dramatic right now.
I love it. I think that's what happened. I think there's, I get the safe. I get the safe The safe route is, John feels guilty because he was supposed to be on the plane. He survived. Dave didn't. And then, hey, here's your money for your kids. Here's money for you to take care of Patrick. That's the safe route. I don't want the safe route. I want, because at the end, in the message, in John's video, he said, he was talking about the more you try to push back the past, it haunts you. But the way he said to Barbara, I left you just when you needed me most. Yeah, I get it.
No,
Yeah.
I disagree so much. I disagree.
I want Takira's to happen, but my little angel on my shoulder wants to. Yes,
I have good reason as well why I disagree with this.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll tell you why, because he was on the plane and then months later, half a year later, they cross roads again. We don't know if she's Barbara Morgan.
We'll
We're
call her
assuming,
Barbara.
right? We're going to call her Barbara right now.
Just
her
her.
name has never been said.
Giggles.
Okay, so why did she move on when, if this is a situation like Eddie and Delilah, John not saying, but this is our baby, why are we not together? Yes, he could have said that. Or yes, that could have happened. And she would have also not gone off with some other guy. That's how I feel, at least, if it really was his child.
I'll give you that. Okay.
Sorry, guys. That's just the reason there.
I'll go to Kira's side because it's juicier.
And also, a lot of people have been tweeting this, actually, because of the PJ, the J meaning is in John. But I don't know. I don't buy it.
Probably. I mean, Sophie got named because of the purser.
Yes,
What's her name?
The flight
attendant.
Oh my God.
That was actually another one of my Little Things ABTV.
Yeah.
Something that's maybe a very profound reminder. You want to keep it somehow. Although that's not healthy, I feel, as well. But essentially, she saved him.
Well, I think that's a reminder.
She saved him.
That's gratitude.
Yes.
I think that's more of a gratitude.
For being alive, yes.
All right, so let us know in the live chat, do you think John is PJ's dad? Because I'm really thinking so. And not to mention, on IMDb, which is, it gives you information. Oh, I did. Oh, yes.
I
didn't cheat, really. But Drea de Matteo, I always struggle over her name. She still does not have a name on IMDb, on the credits, at the end of movies when it lists credits and it says, oh, Yasmine played, Rebecca or whatever. She still doesn't have a name. So that's why I refuse to believe she is not Barbara Morgan, because Barbara Morgan is still not beside her name. No, go.
What about that old lady next to the apartment, John's other apartment?
I really thought she was just the landlord.
No, but she... could she be Barbara Morgan? There's speculations. I think there's speculation still out there.
Somebody said it. I think it was Maggie who said it.
Yeah, and there's actually online speculations about it too.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's. I want a DNA test, just like everybody else.
PJ, we need a DNA test too.
So what do you? Another question that we had that come up was, is Barbara who Barbara is? I know we already kind of talked about that. Mm-hmm. What do you guys? Do you really think that Eddie is going to tell Katherine about the baby?
I think so.
Okay.
As soon as Gary hinted oh, you guys are starting off with no lies this time, I was like, ooh, yeah. I kind of figured that's how it was gonna play out in this episode. It was gonna be but before we go back into it, I gotta tell you this deep dark thing that's probably gonna break us up again.
I was about to say, is Katherine gonna be accepting of that?
I think they're going to split up.
I think they're going to split.
Okay, because that moment has been cut off, because that's what we're all thinking, that I feel like there's going to be another turn to it.
Yeah.
Especially since they've shot the scene now. I think in the middle of him trying to tell her and she comes out or something, the phone will go off about Delilah giving birth because she's like, I need to call Eddie.
And then he's going to make the decision to leave. I know we were, I think something bad is going to happen in that family. I know that that's so horrible to say. I never want to wish bad things, but I think we were all on the same page whenever we were watching it. We thought Eddie was going to get into a car accident or something and, like, not make it to, well, I don't think you did.
No, I didn't think that either. I thought Delilah was going to
call him.
Was going to call or, like, being in, like, labor pain, like, accidentally say, like, where's Eddie? He's the father.
Oh, God.
Like, accidentally say it like that.
See, I thought something was going to happen to Katherine where she cuts herself or something was going to happen.
See, okay, so we're on the same trend. Yeah, but there's something bad, and we're not the only one. I think someone in the chat, I'll try to scroll up to find the name, but someone said about something happening to, Watcher Carter said that they'll end up needing each other. Like, Katherine and Eddie will end up needing each other because maybe their kid will be sick. Like, Theos will go through some type of...
You better not.
Medical... I know.
No, we can do Maggie.
How can we get Theo into this now?
I'm just saying... Look, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reading what our
I
other...
wouldn't be able to watch the show anymore if they do
That's more
something to
juice
do.
and drama than I can handle. And Brooke said,
Yeah.
rightfully, like Mary J. Blige said, no more drama.
Yeah, see, I'm just reading what our other co-host said. Any other predictions that are just like burning while we have a few more moments?
Rome and Regina are going to get a divorce over this baby situation.
Oh, no.
Sorry, guys. Okay, time out. There's a silver lining between what I want to happen and drama-filled. No, the other way around. Drama-filled and what I want to happen.
Oh my
They can't. This group dynamic cannot split. No more splits, please.
Oh my God.
You guys hit me with Theo. Okay, you guys hit me with Theo and I'm
okay,
so I'm
that's a lot.
gonna hit you guys with Regina and Rome.
Jeez. All right.
I'm
Wow.
just gonna say that about Hunter is that I think he's gonna try and get rid of Katherine.
Oh, her job. Mm-hmm. I was like,
And that's gonna have like a big effect, like on the family and everything. So
I'm sure his feelings are hurt for sure because she read him a little bit, but
it wasn't a big one. Like I said earlier on,
so
it's gonna
much.
be a big prediction. It's just one of those things that's just gonna stir another layer of problems.
I'm so ridiculously interested to hear what our other co-hosts out there in the world have to say about predictions because it's a lot. It's so much. We still have so much to talk about. So you can find us in the comments, I'm sure, and you can follow us. So to continue the conversation because we have a few months to wait for the show. Yasmine,
Here we go.
where can they find you?
Please do have a good chat and rant about this because I'm dying to know your thoughts since we're so lost here as well. What's going to happen next? You can find me on all social media at Yasmine Tanres.
And you can find me, Tay Alexandria, at all social media as well, Tay Alexandria TV.
Oh yeah, and you can find me, Takira Shabrae, on Instagram and Twitter at Takira_Shabrae, and in the comments. I love to read them. See you guys like later this year.
Next season. Bye guys.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.